Emefiele said the bank will work with the fiscal authorities to revamp the economy by collaborating on policy implementation. He also disclosed that the CBN has secured approval from President Muhammadu Buhari to restructure the Nigeria Commodity Exchange. The CBN governor said the bank can no longer sit back and watch unscrupulous commodity merchants hoard commodities and force the prices of commodities to be high. According to Emefiele, the CBN owns 60% of the Nigerian Commodity Exchange, and it will take charge of running the exchange to international standard. At the end of the meeting, Godwin Emefiele announced that the committee unanimously agreed to retain the current monetary policy stance by leaving monetary policy rate MPR at 11.5% and retain the cash reserves ratio at 27.5%. Also retained are the liquidity ratio, which was left at 30%, and the asymmetric corridor, which was left at plus 100 and minus 700 basis points around the NPR. And the National Examination Council has fixed new date for the examinations. This followed requests by candidates to be given more time to complete their registration process. A statement by NECO's Head Information and Public Relations Division, Aziz Sani, said the examination, which was scheduled to hold from Monday, February 1st, 2020 to Wednesday, March 3rd, 2021, will now start on Monday, February 8th, 2021 and run till Wednesday, March 10th, 2021. The council said candidates who missed some papers during the 2020 SSCE due to the NSAS protest in some states should also take note of the new dates and report for the examination accordingly at their various examination centers to be designated soon. And coming up in a moment, abducted Edo NIS spokesperson regains freedom. Listen more when we come back.
At split seconds, there is a lot happening around us, but we can't be everywhere all the time. We've got work, families, and chores to cater to, and most importantly, time to rest. And that's why having reliable partner like KUFM News is important. Sleeping? We don't. We work round the clock, bringing you stories as they break from Nigeria and across the world. We would stop at nothing to keep you informed, because KUFM News is all about you and stories that affect you. Politics, business, human interests, sports, entertainment, just name it. We've got you covered. KUFM News. Timely, precise, spot on.
And you're welcome back. Still in the news, the kidnapped public relations officer of the Edo Command of the Nigerian Immigration Service, Bridget Esene, has been released by her abductors on Tuesday. Esene was released at about 4 p.m. Tuesday after spending over 46 hours in the kidnappers' den. The spokesman of the police command, Chidi Nwabuzo, confirmed her release. Recall that Esene was abducted at Ikweniro area of Benin on Sunday on her way to church. A mobile court sitting in Benin City headed by Chief Magistrate Bright Oniha on Tuesday convicted 11 persons for disobeying the directive of the Edo State government on compulsory use of face masks and the restriction of movements. The convicted persons that were arrested at various locations in the state capital Benin City pleaded guilty to the offense and for leniency from the Chief Magistrate. The court ordered the convicted persons to carry out 3 hours of community service within the premises of the Edo State High Court, Benin City. 2 other persons, Ms. Stephanie Francis and Mr. Uti Christopher, who pleaded not guilty, were discharged and acquitted by the Chief Magistrate on the ground of no witness to the alleged offense committed. The 11 persons convicted by the court include Comfort Oko, Haizobus Maris, Doris Idada, Habibat Osayende, Emmanuel James, Friday Peter, Joseph Nwigbo, and Ola Michael. They were all convicted for disobeying the directive of the Edo State government by refusing to wear face masks, thereby committing an offense contrary to Section 8C6 of the Edo State Dangerous Infectious Disease Emergency Prevention Regulation 2020. And amidst fear of coronavirus and the plea that people should shun large gatherings, some Edo residents have continued to gather at the National Identity Management Office in Benin to get their national identity number NIN. This and more on Extra Voices.
In the ever-revolving world of news, one story becomes extinct the moment another major story breaks.
Market women don't know whether they pay anything.
But with KUFM's Extra Voices, the story never dies. It just takes on a new life.
Market
there's no water in the house. The toilet is not good.
We don't have any fashion in APC.
We bring you new angles and fresh perspectives to every story, no matter how old or remote.
There are a lot of educated people that are involved in politics nowadays.
We go a little beyond the surface to get you those extra details ignored in the rush for the news.
Now bridge, now we take the entire.
Some don't die for inside.
We go beyond the lines to bring extra voices, not just for those making the stories.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
But for those affected by the stories.
I've lost one bag of rice, documents.
So it's a real disaster.
With Extra Voices, we add new flavor to give fresh perspective and taste to an old story. Extra Voices airs every Wednesday and weekends on KUFM's major news bulletins.
Some residents of Benin City have been subjected to hard times in an effort to secure the national identity number. Some have witnessed the first daylight at National Identity Management Commission's office. Some spent hours during the day under the scorching sun without results, while others have to pay their way through. Today's Extra Voices highlights sacrifices by Edo residents in their struggle to secure a national identity number.
Since the federal government announced that all SIM cards registered in Nigeria must be linked to the national identity numbers of the owners or risks being blocked, the offices of the National Identity Management Commission across the country have become a mecca of some sort. The announcement was a wake-up call to millions of Nigerians who had never registered in the first place. Hundreds of people who thronged the various offices of the Commission and registration centers in Benin daily to register, reprint, or verify their numbers before sharing with their network providers.
She's around 400 meters a day.
But by the time we entered, it was a tug of war. Since I stayed here, I have not seen a number of people that are captured. I don't know what is wrong with the workers or the machine. I don't know what is the problem. Is it the machine or the number of workers? If they don't have a number of workers, they should employ people. Since 6 elderly men have been seated. I have never seen 2 or 3 people they have captured.
We are students. We want to write and we ask for our NI. They should assist students now. We have been here since last week. Last 2 weeks, my dad came here. My mom has done now. They should answer students.
When Extra Voices visited NIMC Benin's office at PZ Road, Saple Road, it was a chaotic scene with an unprecedented crowd.
Nothing. We just stay here. Now so we see them so that government go know what they will do with concerning us, because we not be animals. When we go just do something like that, some they beat us. No food, nothing.
Some have alleged that NIMC officials are taking kickbacks from citizens to facilitate their registration.
When I go immigration, they collect money to the door. What they can say for free. Some 6,000, some 5,000, 3,000. To the door.
But the allegation was debunked by the unit chairman of the Association of Senior Civil Servants NIMC office, Comrade Sunday Iduegbo.
If that person can prove it, call me. I will follow you to that very center, and then we'll go and meet that person and find out from the person, why did you collect this money from this person? Because you are not supposed to collect any money from anybody for you to render your service. The service is free.
Happening at the time when the concern about the second wave is high. What happens to social distance rule and other COVID-19 protocols?
There's the coronavirus day. For election, people gather and not say coronavirus day. Now people stay here now. As it was a COVID-19 day, so as we gather for here, so people never carry virus now. For this gathering we gather. Number 2, we call here this morning that they flock somebody I get so for number where they won't give her. They carry some enter inside. Say make them use partiality to give them. the paper. Now they go buy fuel.
The Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, Dr. Isa Ali Pantami, has approved the extension of the deadline on the ongoing need SIM integration by a period of 3 weeks, 30th December 2020 to 19th January 2021 for subscribers with the National Identification Number NIN, and 6 weeks beginning from 30th December 2020 to 19th February 2021 for subscribers without the NIN. Similarly, the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board JAMB has made NIN a registration criteria, but with over 50 million SIM cards yet to be registered in Nigeria, it remains a third dream to register and link this number of those yet to be registered within the deadline given by the federal government. For KUFM's Extra Voices, Lewedum Asagwaram.
And coming up in a moment in entertainment news, John Boyega to feature in Netflix's new movie, The Formula. This and more on entertainment news. It's not news break and KU 92.7 FM Benin City. Some entertainment stories. Nigerian British actor John Adedaya Adegboyega, known professionally as John Boyega, is starring in Netflix's original film The Formula, executive produced by Jason Michael Berman with Sam Shaw and Burby Productions. Ephraim Walker co-produced. The film also stars Robert De Niro. Boyega recently starred in anthology film series Small Axe and Red, White and Blue, both directed by Steve McQueen. And Nollywood actor Ernest Asuzu is dead. The news of his death was confirmed by his wife Jennifer Asuzu. Jennifer told journalists that Asuzu fainted on Tuesday evening and never woke up. However, his remains are on the way to the East for funeral rites. Ernest Asuzu began his acting career in the 90s and rose to prominence after he starred in the 1997 Nollywood classic Rituals. He was the toast of Nollywood until his career nosedived after he came down with a stroke in 2015 and it affected his speech. He was also bedridden for 3 years. And that's it from entertainment. And in sports, Patrice Motsepe, Ahmed Yahya cleared for CAF presidency. This and more on our sports decks.
Good morning. South African Football Administrator Patrice Motsepe and Mauritania's Ahmed Yahya have been cleared to run for the Confederation of African Football presidency despite previous doubts over the duo's eligibility. On 8 January, the African Football ruling body in a statement said further checks were necessary before a final decision on Motsepe, the billionaire holder of South Africa's Mamelodi Sundowns, and Yahya, who has led Mauritania's FA since 2011. A day later, CAF's interim president Constant Umari organized an emergency committee meeting, whereupon it was stated that FIFA would determine the candidates' eligibility. The World Football Governing Body's review committee has said both men can contest the 12 March elections, where they will take on Ivorian Jacques Anouma and Senegal Football Association President Augustine Senghor. Mass elections will take place in the Moroccan capital, Rabat, with the winner serving a 4-year term. And finally, Nigerian striker Ojo Igalo says his dream has come to an end as he prepares to leave Manchester United at the end of his 1-year loan contract. The 31-year-old scored 5 goals in 23 appearances for the Red Devils after arriving from Chinese Super League side Shanghai Shenhua. In a Twitter post, Igalo said he would forever cherish and be grateful for his spell and would always remain a Manchester United fan. The former Watford and Udinese forward, whose loan deal expires on Saturday, has played just 9 minutes of Premier League football this season, with his chances restricted further following the arrival of Edison Cavani on a free transfer in October. And that's sports news on KUFM's News Break. My name is Egusa Agbeka, and back to you, Amoyo.
And that's the news, but before we go, a quick recap of the headlines. President Buhari appoints new service chiefs. Edo Mobile Courts arraigns 13 persons, convicts 11 for violating regulations. On today's Extra Voices, our correspondent highlights residents' hurdles while securing national identity number. Do remember that the continued unity of Nigeria is a collective responsibility. Be sure to play your part. Do not forget you can listen to us anywhere in the world by visiting our website at www.kufm.net or download our mobile app from the Google Play Store. We are also on YouTube at KFM Nigeria, and you can also listen to us on RadioGarden.com. KFM's News Break was produced by Nusahai Wadiai. I am Omoyo Gwedes, and thanks for listening. Good morning.